I'm recording a short video about how to backpack with certain medical considerations. Also, I kind of wanted to zoom in on a favorite picture of mine here. Last year when Bobby, my son, and my grandson and I were hiking in the Appalachian Trail up in Maryland, we came across our friend Roaming Ramdino, and he was gracious enough to lend us a picture, and we thank you so much. Folks like you are very inspirational, and we appreciate all the tips that you give us so frequently on the internet. As far as gear goes, I love a certain website that advertised how to do some backpacking fairly inexpensively. I do have an air mattress that I'm going to, believe it or not, stuff inside my hammock on the far end. I have a blue quilt on the far end as well for that particular unit, but I thought I would just try this. I don't have to put it up much, but I have found that one side of me that gets very, very, very cold at night sometimes just needs a little extra cushioning. So I'm going to try this and see if it works. Very light, very easy to inflate. It's funny, they said that if I only put 5 to 10 breaths in it, I'd inflate the whole thing. Whoever wrote that must have had the lungs of an elephant, because I play brass and it took me over 20 deep breaths to inflate this. But all in all, didn't take long, so I'm grateful for that. I do have a 32-degree bag because I'm really not hardy underneath about 40 degrees when it comes to hammock camping. I have some dry bags here. This dry bag in particular is reserved for my food. Now, this might not look like much, but I'm just trying to survive. I've got some peanut butter, and I have some tortilla bread. I'm looking how to back camp inexpensively. A little can of tuna. I might get a small thing of mac and cheese. I figure a good place for my hand sanitizer is in with the food. I happen to like these little sticks. They work pretty well for me. I might look for something on the order of some trail mix. For breakfasts, what I've done is I've got oatmeal in here mixed with cocoa and stevia, because I'm diabetic and diabetics have to be careful on the sugar. I got a little bit of coffee, and I'll take a ramen packet or two, and that's going to take care of me fairly easily for a couple of days. I do have some medical supplies that I'm going to put in the red bag. I will keep both toiletry items like toothbrush and maybe a comb, and then I thought I would just put just a little bit of evaporating shampoo in here, because I just really get super greasy and I don't really care for that. I'm not going to hike the whole AT. I just do a day or two maximum, but that does me out there. I've got a few ostomy supplies because I just have to have that as a medical patient. I have diabetic supplies, Flex Pens, Lantus, and Novolog, my unit that I check my sugar with. As well, in these bags here, I have placed some additional glucose tablets for when I need it. As well, I have 2 days, really 2.5 days supplies of immunosuppressants, since I am a kidney transplant, and I have those marked in 2 different days here, Thursday and Friday. Moving from then this bag over to the blue bag, I plan to put a few electronic related items in here, like a tripod, selfie stick, and a couple of lighters. These are recharging units, small recharging units. And I'm going to place a website at the bottom of this video, because I really owe a lot to a certain website. As I continue through my backpacking list, I find that it's always nice to have just a little bit of extra cord. I have a couple of things to take care of my feet, an extra poncho just in case, and a thermal blanket, because I tend to get cold at night and I'm really not hardy much below 45 degrees. Also, several tent pegs. I really prefer these more sturdy tent pegs, although I got to tell you they're a touch heavier, and that is a serious consideration. As I continue across, I am using the Sawyer Squeeze water filtration system. Additionally, I have a little spork and a small titanium cup. I have a a butane stove and a small butane stove top that I found recommended. Also, as I work my way through, I've got several tree straps, and in fact, I'm taking more than one pair just because sometimes uh, trying to make them fit certain trees in certain locations, I just want the flexibility. I have the outdoor netting. I found this one's kind of interesting to get in and out of. I'm not sure I'm 100% satisfied with that. Additionally, a few more tent pegs. I have the Rainfly for my particular sill nylon unit here that I use for backpacking. I have my trusty poles that I use. Also, I have a pretty heavy duty uh, parka in case I need it, and also right here I have the Thermarest Z-line that I will be bringing along. And here is my backpack, my hammock quilt. So these are the things that I'm bringing along with me on this particular trip. There are a few odds and ends that I need to go shopping for, but this is how I go about backpacking for just a couple days. And I find it's possible. You can do it. It's just where there's a will, there's a way. So it doesn't matter if you happen to have certain medical setbacks and you've got to take your medicine, or you've got to keep your sugar in control, or you have other issues. And above and beyond that, there's something called weight that I'm really trying to keep under control, both weight and sugar. For me, I can't find a better way to control weight and sugar than to do some fair bit of hiking. And then again, in all these things, it's nice to know that the Lord looks out for us, and that's who I trust. Every hurdle that you happen to run into in life, you can look to the Lord. I certainly do. And I look at each new hurdle that comes up and I say, okay, Lord, we've got something new that we're going to deal with. How do we jump this? And I have found time and time again, no matter what we face, that God is faithful. So anyway, that's my little backpack review. And again, a couple extra items I need to put in here, but getting pretty close to a full backpack, and I got to keep that weight down.